The AK4D shoots slow but hits hard in Battlefield 6. At 514 rounds per minute, it's the slowest shooting assault rifle in the game, but it somewhat makes up for that with a 3-shot kill potential out to 20 meters, giving it a decent time to kill of 233 milliseconds within that range. Drops off to a 4-shot kill from 20 to 75 meters, 350 millisecond time to kill. Again, decent, not the best. And then long range, 75 meters, drops off to a 5-shot kill, 467 millisecond time to kill. Not the greatest there at long range, but can be somewhat useful at the longer ranges. Does have a little bit of recoil, but should be able to burst and tap pretty effectively at those longer ranges. So this is the build that I'm liking here. Light and suppressor yet again, fully hides in-world spotting and reduces minimap spotting. So outside of 15 meters, you're not going to show up on the minimap, but within 15 meters, it's still going to show up. So a little bit better for flanking. And then this one reduces recoil buildup and improves recoil recovery at the cost of hipfire accuracy. So the best suppressor you can get as long as you have the points for it. Definitely worth making the points work. And then we have the extended barrel here. Increases bullet velocity to 900 from 720 for the basic and enables faster ADS. So these other ones a little bit slower handling, so it makes it a little bit more snappy, a little bit more useful in close quarters. Have the slim angled. Slightly reduces recoil, increases weapon draw speed, enables faster ADS, so it would be 250 without that. And then standard 20 round mag, standard ammunition, red laser for better hip fire without giving away your position. Blue and green lasers show up to enemies, and then whichever sight you prefer. I like the Mini Flex 1.0, but that's going to be personal preference. Able to full auto at 70, 50, 35. 20, no problem. And then hip fire is decent enough within 10 meters. So we have all the stats here. AK4D, 514 rounds per minute. So slow fire rate, not very forgiving if you're missing shots. Every shot you miss is going to slow down your time to kill pretty significantly. And then the 20 round mags, also not the greatest either. But 3-shot kill out to 20 meters, 2-shot headshot potential with hollow points within 20 meters. Then it's going to be a 3-shot headshot all the way out to 75 meters with or without hollow points, but hollow points make it a little bit easier. You only need 2 headshots mixed with 1 body shot, whereas standard you're going to need all 3 headshots to be. For a 3-shot headshot kill, and then long range, probably not going to get too many headshots at super long range, especially if you're trying to get headshot kills, but standard ammunition doesn't help you for headshots within 20 meters. But then you have that 2-shot headshot potential with hollow points, and then you only need 2 headshots mixed with body shots at any range with the hollow points to lower the shots to kill, whereas you're going to need 3 with standard from 20 meters plus. So a little bit better there, but is it worth the points? It's going to be up to you. Then we have time to kill within the assault rifle class. Okay damage per second compared to the best TR7 401. Very good damage there. So that's 115 lower, so pretty significantly lower because they have the same damage model, but the TR7 shoots much faster, 720 rounds per minute compared to 514, so it's going to outclass it in every way as far as pure time to kill goes, damage per second, but the recoil is obviously going to be a lot harder on the TR7 than the AK4D, going to be able to stretch the ranges more with the AK4D compared to the TR7. So 233 millisecond time to kill within 20 meters, decent. Not the greatest, but decent. So 66 milliseconds slower there, 350 out to 75, 100 milliseconds slower there, and then 467. Super long range, that's 134 milliseconds slower than TR7, but probably going to be able to hit your shots more accurately with the AK4D, but you're still probably going to have to burst and tap at super long range, so negligible difference there. And if we look at the graph of assault rifles, AK4D is green. So this one right here, it's kind of in the middle everywhere. So not the best, not the worst, just right in the middle. But that slow fire rate is going to be the main issue there. Some of the other weapons are a little bit more forgiving with the faster fire rate. So if you're missing shots, it's going to hurt you quite a bit. But if you're accurate, it can do work. And then time to kill, all the weapons compared against each other. AK4D, same thing. Decent, out to 75 meters, falls off harder at the longer ranges. 200 milliseconds slower than M250 at long range. M250 probably has a little bit better recoil too, so M250 is definitely going to outclass it at the long range, but up close, AK4D is going to do better there than the M250 anyway. Then with ADS included in time to kill, obviously assault rifles are going to fall off a little bit harder than the faster handling weapons like SMGs and carbines because they handle slower, but you can get the handling down with the right attachments, so not going to be that big of a difference, but you definitely don't want to run into SMGs and carbines and start aiming and shooting at the same time. But if you start shooting at the same time, you should be alright, but if you start aiming, you're going to lose to the faster handling weapons. Then Gauntlet with 1 plate, 40 armor, no damage reduction, basically 140 health. AK4D, not the greatest up close. KB9's very fast time to kill, 278, so almost 200 milliseconds slower there. And then within 10 to 20 meters, still not the greatest there, 333 to 467, 134 milliseconds slower. 20 to 75 meters, almost 200 milliseconds slower, so that's 167. And then super long range, severely outclassed by the M250. So 256 milliseconds slower there. Then BR with 1 plate, so 40 armor with damage reduction, basically 50 extra health. Same story, but it falls off even harder in that mid-range, 20 to 75 meters. Oh no, that's the same, right? Yeah, it's the same there. But falls off even harder at long range, so almost 400 milliseconds slower there then. 1 more shot to kill. So anytime you have to get 1 more shot makes a big difference. So probably not going to be the greatest in Red Sec due to the slow fire rate if you miss any shots. It's already not that competitive to begin with, but if you miss any shots, it's going to be even worse. And then 200 health, so BR with 2 plates, 80 armor with damage reduction, basically 100 extra health. Again, not the greatest up close, 250 milliseconds slower almost. 209 milliseconds slower. Then the fastest there, the SCW-10, so not great up close, 584 compared to 417, 167 again. You got 234 milliseconds slower there, and then 429 milliseconds slower. So slower all around, even in pure time to kill potential, and then if you miss any shots, it's going to be even worse. So definitely not going to be the best in Red Sec. So a decent performer all around, as long as you can hit your shots, but with that slow fire rate, it's going to hurt you really badly if you miss any shots. So that's going to be the main issue. I'm not really the biggest fan of it. I don't really care for slower firing weapons, and then the 20 round mag as well. I'm more of a fast fire rate enjoyer, so slow shooting weapons I don't really care too much for. So same thing with the AK4D, but again, if you can be accurate with your shots, if you can hit your shots, it's going to do work, but it's still not going to be the best gun, even if you're 100% accurate. So it's just going to be in that mid tier, but good enough to be useful in most situations as long as you're accurate with your shots. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you're liking the AK4D, what attachments you're running and finding success with. But that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.